Can you hear me now? Hey, everybody, what's going on?
Morning.
How you doing?
Doing good.
We're on our live stream, Facebook, YouTube, X, for all those people that want to come hang out with us. We'd love for you to do that and having some fun talking about all kinds of different things. We've been talking about action stars this morning.
Before we start, I reposted our Facebook from yesterday.
Yeah.
On my personal page and stuff. I got a bunch of people commenting about the blue on my headphones.
Oh,
I got these fancy blue pads for my headphones, and people are like, "Those are cool.
Those are pretty cool." Yeah, because those are like soft, cushy.
Right. Yeah. It was weird. So these headphones are about 35 years old.
That's cool.
And I had to replace the pads, and they normally came with those bright yellow ones.
Right.
And people were like, "Those are really cool."
How did you find the pads? Because I'm sure those were probably difficult.
They make all the parts for these headphones. That's what's great about them. And you can still get replacement parts.
Nice.
For them. Yeah. So ordered some new pads. So you like my fancy blue pads on my 35-year-old headphones.
Yeah, those are great. Those are great.
Continuing on.
Absolutely. No, robotics roundup going to happen here in just a moment. You'll be able to see and hear that here in just a bit. Talked with a good friend of mine, a good friend of both of ours, Scott Bradford, who has spent many years helping out and volunteering. His kids were getting into robotics, and now his kids are done and out and in college, and he's still doing it. So pretty awesome to see that. It's just one of the many people that it takes to make those, not only those tournaments and those competitions go, but he said it himself. I spend a little bit of time. It's the mentors and the coaches and all that spend the bulk of the time working with these kids.
Yeah, that's a great thing. We started robotics. Originally, it was Robotics Roundtable, and now it's Roundup. Back in 2016, I think it was. So we've coming up on 8 years now, or it's been about 8 years that we've been doing this, and it's just grows every single year.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great to see. Because Tim was retired. He had retired recently, and he's like, "I'm going to travel. I don't really have time to host it." And I said, "Well, we want to keep this alive because it's a great thing. It promotes some cool stuff and some great teams. So let's keep that rolling."
Right.
And I've been chatting with a lot of these teams, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I wish I had that when I was in high school, a robotics team, because I would have been on it.
The closest thing I had was my erector set.
Right. Yeah, that's what you were building. You were building a lot of mechanical things back then.
Kind of the beginning of building robots. Yeah.
So we'll chat about that here in just a second. Find out what's happening in the weather this morning.
Mostly cloudy skies this morning, becoming sunny though as we go through the day. Temperatures today are going to stay a little on the cooler side with highs in the low 50s. Clear skies tonight. We see frost develop overnight as we drop down to 32. And then after that frost is gone on Thursday, we're back to sunny skies and 62. Into the 60s on Friday and 70s still on the way this weekend. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
It's the morning show with Jonny and Ken on 94.9 WSJM.
It's time for Robotics Roundup. It's brought to you by our friends at Lake Michigan College, AEP Cook Nuclear Plant, as well as Berrien Springs Public Schools. And I'm excited to talk with area teams on a regular basis. And we've talked with Tim Junai, who does a lot of great work at not only hosting this show in the past, but also a lot of... It's time for Robotics Roundup. It's brought to you by our friends at Lake Michigan College, AEP Cook Nuclear Plant, as well as Berrien Springs Public Schools. And I'm excited to talk with area teams on a regular basis. And we've talked with Tim Junai, who does a lot of great work at not only hosting this show. I'm not well versed on the technical stuff. So no, I do. Here it is. Where is it? Right here.
And you're trying to get that.
There we go. Now I've got the interview ready.
There you?
All right, here we go. Right. It's time for Robotics Roundup. It's brought to you by our friends at Lake Michigan College, AEP Cook Nuclear Plant, as well as Berrien Springs Public Schools. And I'm excited to talk with area teams on a regular basis. And we've talked with Tim Junai, who does a lot of great work at not only hosting this show in the past, but also a lot of volunteer work. And I want to talk about another guy who does a lot of great work. I don't know how many hours you have spent in the past, but Scott Bradford, you have been somebody that if anybody goes to an area robotics competition, especially the ones at St. Joe and the one at Berrien Springs as well this year, and you are usually the guy that the voice that people hear on a regular basis, doing the announcements and having some fun. I think sometimes wearing a Hawaiian shirt or something like that. But I'm excited to talk with you. How long have you been volunteering and being a part of robotics?
Well, I'm happy to say that next year I will be able to wear my 15-year pin.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. I actually started in robotics. I was pulled into it looking for something for my son to do as he was going into high school. And we were invited, my son and I were invited to sit at the table where the MC and game announcers were for the inaugural St. Joseph tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And he was enthralled, and my daughter followed him into it. So yeah, and they're both done and gone from the St. Joseph team, the Average Joes. But I'm still doing it. I don't necessarily work for a particular team, although I'm tied to the Joes because of my kids.
Sure.
Because as an MC or a game announcer, I represent all of the schools and all of the teams that are there. But you still have your favorites. You know, I have the Average Joes from St. Joe, the Lancebots from Lakeshore, and of course the Robotarians, which is the composite team, in the area here. All three teams of which just went to the World Robotic Championship this last weekend.
That's awesome. Why do you keep doing it now that the kids are all gone? What keeps you coming back?
I love the program. I think the program is outstanding. Had the program been there when I was in high school, it is absolutely something I would have been part of. I remember the very first tournament we went to. My wife sitting next to me goes, "Wow, this is like the Final Four for nerds." And it's an understatement because it's much, much more than that. But it was a great description. I mean, you saw this entire the auditorium filled with people, and they're watching robots that their kids designed and built, on teams where they had to raise the money for their teams to be able to do this. And they're just, everyone's screaming and having a great time. And that's when I said, I love it. I love being on the field. That's why I like to MC and game announce.
Yeah, you've got the best seat in the house to be able to see all of this. And I'm sure in the years that you've been involved in it, whether with your kids and also being a game announcer and doing that, is that you've also probably seen some of the advancements in technology that these kids are able to get their hands on and work with, right?
What they can do is amazing. I mean, the whole reason this was designed, the first robotics, was to say, look, there is all this talent out there. There's all this wonderful talent with young people that we want them to go into STEM. I always say STEAM because I'm an arts guy, but we want them to go into STEM fields. How do you get them excited and wanting to do this? First Robotics. It was designed to get them excited, to teach them that robotics is not just, the battle bots where they destroy each other. It's robots working together and doing specific things, creating specific things that can help people in industry now. In fact, most of the national sponsors, they're all manufacturing. They're the people that need this influx of new ideas and new talent and brains. And I'll be honest with you, I do this and I've loved it for 15 years now. But I'll tell you, when it comes to the time and effort I put into it, I work 5 weekends a year. I do a Lego League tournament, an FTC, First Tech Challenge, which is the junior high, and then I do another 3 tournaments, 2 regular tournaments for the high schoolers, First Robotic Challenge, which is that level, and then I also game announce at the state level. I don't MC at the state level. I game announce. I want to be right there on the field and getting my voice out there as much as I can. But that's my commitment. And but the mentors, the real people that do this, the ones who work with the kids in programming and building in their business plan, how do you build a successful team that's always growing? I'm going to tell you, they're the ones that are there every season with their team. They're there for 2-3 months at a time, 4 or 5 nights a week. Man, those volunteers, they're the hardcores. They're the awesome ones. And they're the ones that I do this for, because if I can help inspire some of these other adults to be involved in it, that's why I do it.
Absolutely. And I'm sure a lot of them can, say that they've probably been helping for 10 to 15 years as well. So to see that, and you mentioned about, getting your son involved and getting your daughter involved. And did you see that their involvement in robotics kind of sort of changed the trajectory on what they may have wanted to do as a career, just from being in the experience of being on a robotics team?
It was pretty amazing how my son started on the engineering and build side and gravitated more towards the business side. And my daughter, who's always, she's always, emulated her brother, she went right into that business side and just excelled at it. And I thought that was awesome. When you talk about you're on the robotics team, what do you do? And you talk about, well, I help with the business plan.
Right.
And people go, what?
Yeah.
Well, you're running an organization. Your team is an organization. You recruit, you get out in the community, you have to raise money. And I mean, some teams are really good and I'll say lucky. The St. Joseph, the average Joes, they have the brand new Todd Center, which is strictly for robotics in the St. Joe Public Schools. That is just an outstanding thing that happened for them. They're able to invite other teams in to work on their practice field, to help them as well. It's all part of being part of the community and growing what you do.
Yeah, and exciting too to see those obviously those pioneer sort of teams that have been in the Southwest Michigan area for a long period of time, but also too, I'm sure you're excited when you see those rookie teams not only come around but also be successful as well. And there's been even more that have been popping up this year, and then having more events like the one added in Berrien Springs. So I think that growth trajectory is just huge for robotics. More and more students being involved, but also too a lot of school districts and companies and many people investing the time and the funds in order to help grow that, because they're seeing the success that many other teams and programs are having. So it's like you said, running a business, and it's really exciting too that, and I'm sure you loved it, that this year they introduced that A into the STEM, making it STEAM with the crescendo this year, which was really exciting.
It was very exciting for me. For being that arts guy who's always floated around the robotics, and when I'll have kids come up to me and talk to me about, what do you think, Mr. Bradford, about blah, blah. And I'm like, you're so far over my head as far as what I do. But, you talked about bringing in new teams and being inspiring. One of the rookie teams that was at the inaugural Berrien Springs tournament this year went on to the state of Michigan tournament as a rookie team and on to Worlds.
Yeah.
So a rookie team was able to, in their very first year, make 2 really big jumps. I mean, a rookie team going on to the state of Michigan. Michigan by far has more teams than any other state or country in FIRST Robotics worldwide. So our state tournament is like a mini Worlds tournament. And it's amazing to see what happens, when you have these teams that, and, the team, as they were leaving Saginaw Valley State University, we saw them waiting to load their cart, and their head mentor yelled out at me. He goes, thank you. We've had you at both Berrien Springs and here at State. And I said, you guys, I see your names. You're so close. He goes, oh yeah, we're hoping that we make it, and they did. And that kind of thing is just amazing.
Absolutely. And I noticed you roped your wife into doing some work as well.
She's always been a part of it. When the kids were at with the average Joe, she always helped with the food, or even planned all the dinners, because I mean, these kids after school, they go to a study hall so that they can do all their homework. They can make sure everything is good. They actually have a meal, and then they do their robotics work, later in the evening. School's first. It's always 1st. And, everything is planned around that so that it can stay that way.
Absolutely.
So she did that, and then she started working on the field, doing field reset and queuing, making sure the robots are going on and off the field safely and quickly. And now she's the lead queuer at St. Joe. She's been a lead queuer at State, although she likes doing field reset at State because she gets to be on the field more.
Yeah, it's cool.
And because her husband is always on the field anyway.
Right.
So
yeah, it's cool. And it's cool to be able to be right there where the action is and to be involved and help as much as you can, because like you said, it's such an exciting thing to be able to witness and see the growth that continues to happen. You going to do it again next year?
Oh, I have tournaments.
All right. Well, I'm so excited that I had a chance to chat with you about it, Scott, because I know I can see the passion and the fun that you're having when I go to these tournaments. So it's always great. It makes for an even more exciting tournament when you guys are involved and having a good time doing it.
And if for nothing else, it's kind of fun to go out and watch a 61-year-old man. Well, he'll be 62 next year, jumping around and having fun and dancing around with the kids. So
absolutely. And we look forward to talking to more robotics teams as well as they finished up the Worlds and all those other great competitions to hear how the season went. But thank you again, Scott, for everything that you do and taking some time with me.
Not at all, Johnny. Thank you for doing this. It's a great program. I love seeing it promoted.
Absolutely. And Robotics Roundup is brought to you by our friends at Lake Michigan College, AEP Cook Nuclear Plant, as well as Berrien Springs Public Schools. For more interviews and more about Robotics Roundup, go check it out at WSJM.com.
Loan rates are trending downward. Are you ready to make your move? Sturgis Bank's expert.
All right. Switched back over here and here. Fun times.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Oh, Scott's a great guy.
Yeah. Keeps himself very busy with all that stuff.
I'll bet.
Well, and he does a bunch of theater stuff too. So he's just involved in
Twin City Players.
Twin City Players. We're St. Joe High School, St. Joe. He's doing some stuff for the St. Joe Middle School as well. So it's just cool to have people in our community that take some time, even out of their busy schedules, to help with that stuff.
Yeah. One of my kids was involved in robotics, and it was very cool. This was back in Minnesota.
Yeah.
But yeah, their programs are great. Not as big as it is here in
Michigan.
Michigan.
And that was the surprising thing. You knew the fact, and Scott did as well. I didn't realize it until yesterday that the state of Michigan has like the most robotics teams in the nation,
and they beat other states by like hundreds. Last check, I think. Is it 600 plus teams in Michigan?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, because even when they've had competitions at either St. Joe and even when they had the one in Berrien Springs, they were having teams coming from as far as the UP.
Right. Yeah.
So
from
that's
all over
pretty
the country
cool.
Come in for it.
So yeah, fun to watch that stuff. And if you've never been to a robotics competition, put it on your list of things to do because it's pretty fascinating. Plus, if you've got any kid that is into any sort of, not even just engineering, but because he touched on it too, is that, marketing, business, any of that, communications,
right? All
of those things and those skills are being used in robotics.
Right. And if you miss the competitions, I mean, there's YouTube videos of the events and the tournaments that go on, and they're fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're very cool. And to watch the kids control the robot, I mean, just to stand there and, working in the media here, we got a chance to go kind of behind the scenes and see some of that. It's really elaborate, that remote control that they use to control it and to move it around and to do that. And you get to see the build cycle and kind of follow along. And that's what's great about the robotics roundup is you get to hear how they're doing it, but to physically see them build this and the thought. I mean, sometimes some of these teams will stay up all night working on things because they got to finalize it.
They're usually you have your after school clubs that may be from like 3:30 to 4:30, like only a little bit of time. Even sports, you're usually out of there by 5:30. No, these kids are starting at 4 or 5 o'clock. and going until maybe almost 8 or 9. I mean, that's why they have study groups and homework groups beforehand. So you get all that stuff done and you even get dinner in as well. So,
and it's a great learning experience for the kids. I mean, because a lot of them go on to college to learn trades in this area.
Right.
And these skills that they're learning doing this is detrimental to their future.
Oh yeah, it's cool to see how they shift. They're like, well, I kind of wanted to go into this, but now that I did robotics, I'm going this direction.
Opens up a lot of doors.
And a lot of businesses have been helping out and supporting a lot of those groups as well. So it's really cool to see.
And some of these kids, they go on to college and they have jobs lined up.
Oh, yeah.
If they go to a 4-year college, a year or two into college, they've already got offers for jobs because there's such a high demand for people that know this stuff.
And even in high school, they're getting apprenticeships lined up before they even graduate high school. So it's pretty awesome to see. If you're thinking about job outlook, that's pretty good. All right, we got your Bloomberg Market Minute going on right now, and we'll get to some headlines of what people are talking about and some news that's going on in our community. And some other things to get to as well on the show.
Yeah, we'll get to the headlines here, but there's the drug take back day. I think everybody's got some old prescriptions. I know we do, and we save them up for those, and so we'll talk about that here in a couple of minutes.
With Jonny and Ken on 94.9 WSJM.
Just a few past 7:30. It's Wednesday, April 24th. Some clouds, and the sun will come out later in a high of 50. Clear skies tonight, but some frost developing overnight into the morning with a low down to 32.
Don't put your ice scraper away just yet. You might have to scrape in the morning.
Oh, man. Or just start the car up a little early and get the defrosters going.
For those of you that have that remote start, which I don't have.
This is that lovely time where you've got you cold in the afternoon, and then you got to switch it back to hot in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
That's Michigan for you. The Midwest, really. But let's find out what's happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ray Gustafson. You have some old unused prescriptions that maybe you didn't finish taking, sitting in the medicine cabinet or somewhere. Well, Corewell Health and the Berrien County Sheriff's Department, they're teaming up again for the Drug Take Back Day. What the plan is, they're going to collect unused and unwanted prescription drugs for safe disposal. You don't want to get those in the hands of anybody. So it's coming up Saturday from 10 to 2. The Berrien County Sheriff's Department is going to oversee the destruction of all of the dropped-off medications. Okay. So that's coming up on Saturday. Apparently, a large portion of U.S. adults are straying away from organized religion.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that coming up at the top of the hour. Whirlpool Foundation announcing 30 scholarships for students of the Whirlpool Corporation employees through the Sons and Daughters College and Vocational Training Scholarship Program. Apparently, there's like $30,000 available to help out for a 4-year degree, and a $15,000 for a 2-year degree. And apparently, Lake Michigan College is moving some of their fields because of some water. Baseball, softball, soccer fields. Some of the fields get soaked with water and it prevents play.
Yeah, so they've had that problem for years.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that coming up at the top of the hour.
All right. Well, we'll get to sports in just a moment and also find out what's happening around the state.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher, the woman accused of driving.
Yeah, they've had issues with water on their fields for a number of years since. I mean, there's from their soccer fields to their baseball and softball. Yeah, that whole area, the drainage is not very good over there.
Well, it's pretty flat, so there isn't just it isn't sloped for the water to be able to run off easily.
Right, and they have that moat basically that's built around there with the ponds and all that. So a lot of water. In that area.
So we'll talk about where they're potentially moving some of those fields to, and to kind of rectify that situation. So college, going back to the story I was just talking about college scholarships. My youngest, as I talked about yesterday, is out at Montana State in Bozeman. And, as parents, I have 6 kids.
Yeah.
As parents, you try to put away a little money for each one of them to go off to college. And we had a little bit. I had no idea it was $45,000 a year to go to college. Yeah, it was their room and,
all that
and
stuff.
room and stuff. Yeah. And so in addition to that money we had set aside, of course, the old parent loans, and we'd worked so hard to pay off those parent loans that we had to take out for the other kids. And we're like, yeah, we're almost done. And all of a sudden it's like, oh,
just another thing.
Now we're another $20,000 or $30,000 in debt just for the first year. And we got to do it again in the fall.
Yeah.
And so, our youngest is working to try to apply for scholarships, any scholarship that they can find.
That's the thing. Yeah. If they can get the scholarships, but it's got to be tough.
If I can give you any advice to parents of kids getting ready for college or a couple of years away, start applying for those scholarships now, because it does take time to try to do that. Even some churches have, even if just a $500 scholarship, I shouldn't say even 500 is a lot of money, but even just that, I mean, just every little bit helps.
Well, and think about too, the extracurriculars and the activities that they can get into, as we mentioned, robotics, but there's other clubs and volunteering. If they're big into volunteering, then that helps kids get scholarship opportunities that way as well, because they highlight people that are doing stuff in the community. So
start saving.
Some big scholarships come their way for a lot of things, and of course doing well in school. That's the most important. Getting your grades up to where you get some scholarships that way.
And you can't always count on winning the Powerball.
Nope. Sometimes as a parent, you probably cross your fingers you do win the Powerball, so it eases the tension there.
Yeah, well, it was the Cass County guy that won $1 million in the Powerball last what was it, Saturday? I think. Yeah. Well, he was hoping to get the big one, but still, $1 million is nothing to sneeze at. And
that's the crazy part, is that you think about it, you get all the numbers except for the big powered or mega ball or whatever, and you only get $1 million. It's like, man, I could have had $100 billion or $100 million, and all I get is $1 million.
Yeah,
I'll take the $1 million, but I'm a little upset.
Yeah. Did you get in on that fad with when it was?
When there was the big Powerball and the big Mega Millions, I did buy.
We did too.
A ticket, just one.
Yeah.
And I just did a quick pick thing. I didn't pick my numbers, and so it was like, no, I didn't win, but I only lost $2. I didn't, put one in every week.
I think we put $20 down, and got 10 tickets because they're $2 each. Yeah. And actually on that one, I think we won $22 back.
Oh,
so we
great.
broke even.
That's nice.
So the wife was happy. She's like, we won the Powerball. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, $22. Okay.
Get excited for a moment.
I know.
Chad said, great to see and hear Ray back.
Hey, Chad, good to see you. Or good to hear from you, I should say. I can't see you, but
back for just the rest of the day today.
Another hour and a half.
And then, you would pull in double duty with doing the news in the morning and then doing the news in the afternoon. So I had a chance to hear then.
As you mentioned, Ken is out. He'll be back Friday. And Andrew is out in the news department as well. Yeah, he'll be back tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah. So who's since Ken's not back till Friday, who's coming in tomorrow then with you?
It's funny. We were talking about this yesterday. I was going to have Jocelyn on the show, and she said, well, that's news to me. I didn't know I was coming on the show.
Really?
So what we may do is she's so busy. She's got a business that she's running. So she said, well, maybe I can record some stuff with you or do some things. So we might do some stuff, have some conversations tonight, and then I'll play them in the morning.
Okay. Okay.
So she doesn't like waking up in the morning, early in the morning, which just like you, doesn't like waking up when they don't have to.
Right.
Waking up and doing this is a little tough.
I'm an early riser. I always have been.
Sure.
And so it doesn't, now I get up like about 2 hours earlier than I normally do to do this because of the time change.
Right.
But even on the weekends, I'm sleeping in. If 6 o'clock is sleeping in for me, 6 a.m. Yeah, I'm up early on the weekends and I have to be quiet because everybody sleeps in.
Right.
So I move around the house, let the dog out, and
what's the secret to that? Because I'm a bit of a loud mover, and I'm surprised I don't wake Jocelyn up or the dog when I wake up every morning. But on Saturdays and Sundays, I'm not up at the usual time that I'm awake for the show.
Sure,
but I am up about 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And she doesn't get up till like probably at least an hour later.
Oh.
So like, what do you do to keep yourself quiet?
Oh, like I said, I'll let the dog out and
Yeah.
and kind of do some things. I might start some laundry that's in the basement that doesn't wake
Yeah.
up people, so I might get a load of laundry going
There
and
you
just
go.
kind of do some things where it's a little more on the quiet side.
Mhm.
Don't want to really do any like cleaning and things because you can't run the vacuum
Right.
anymore, things like that.
I did the dishes this morning, and I was thinking I was going to wake her up. Luckily, I didn't.
Yeah.
But
I mean, hand wash?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No dishwasher?
No dishwasher. I don't
Really?
believe in dishwashers.
You're the dishwasher. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a dishwasher. I don't have what do I don't have a blender. I
just
don't
put-
have a microwave.
Really?
Yeah, no microwave.
Wow.
I don't do microwaves.
Do you live in one of those tiny houses or
No,
something? that we
no.
talked about
We
yesterday,
just
or
we don't like having a ton of appliances.
Oh,
So I've got the oven, the regular range. I've got the refrigerator. I've got a toaster oven.
yeah.
So that if when I'm trying to heat stuff up, usually it goes in the toaster oven. But yeah, I don't do anything microwave wise, which makes it difficult when I go and see things. They're like, oh man, I can pick that up from the grocery store. Oh, microwave instructions. Like, where's the stovetop or the air fryer? I do have an air fryer.
Okay.
So I
That's
do have
so
that.
weird. You're probably, I think microwaves have replaced TVs with the number
Just
that
about,
people have. I mean,
just about.
I think everybody has a microwave.
Yeah.
And we're the opposite. The wife has, of course, we've got the oven
Yeah.
and the refrigerator. We've got a toaster convection oven.
Oh, nice.
That is awesome. Yeah. Like I said, the microwave, and then she has all of these other appliances. We've got the KitchenAid mixer, of course, but we've got the air fryer. She's got the pressure cookers.
Oh,
like
yeah,
an
like the little Instapot thing. Oh,
Yeah.
fun.
We have 3 or 4 of those.
Okay.
Because she does a lot of canning. And she uses those for canning. And
that makes sense.
Yeah. And that is the greatest thing. If you're into canning, that is the greatest thing. She will can up all this stuff, put it up on the shelf. It has a shelf life of like 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to come home if you forgot to take something out.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, I'll just go to the shelf and we have like, ground beef and turkey and chicken and pork all in these jars. And you just open them up, put them in a microwave,
Wow.
put them in the microwave. She does vegetables. She does fruit.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning. It's the morning show, and we've also are going to be we are streaming live right now on our Facebook, YouTube, and X. We've been having a lot of fun, almost too much fun over there that we almost forgot to get back on the air here.
We have this radio show thing.
Yeah, we're like, oh man, there's so many things going on. It's like juggling over here. It's like all kinds of stuff. But yeah, we were talking about I don't have a microwave.
Yeah.
In my house.
If you're on Facebook with us, is there anybody that doesn't have a microwave? Respond on there and let us know. That's good. I've never heard of that now. They're so popular.
Yeah, I just I don't believe in them.
Yeah.
Are
you afraid of the energy that they give?
No, I just don't like I've never liked. I mean, when I was a kid, I always liked popping something in the microwave, like popcorn or something like that.
Yeah.
But if I want popcorn, I actually have a popcorn popper.
We have one of those old ones that go on the stove that you crank, the manual ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great.
Those are cool.
Great popcorn.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, we use that.
But I've got the little machine that you flip the switch. It's like the blow dryer. It just flips the switch and the blow dryer.
The
air popper.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got the air fryer. But just don't have microwave.
Wow.
Because I haven't found anything that I don't miss it. I mean, not having it, I don't miss it. It's just certain things I just have to do either on the stovetop or I have to pop it in the oven or the toaster oven.
Oh, you were talking on the video stream about, you buy something at the store and it only has microwave and directions. What do you do with that? You put it in the oven then?
I just don't buy it.
No, you don't buy it.
Which makes it convenient for me. Yeah. I just don't buy those things.
And we were talking on the live stream about my wife. She's really been into canning lately. And so she has like 4 of the Instapots that do canning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. And thank you, sweetie, for doing that.
Yeah.
Because it's so nice. You come home at the end of the day and you're like, oh, I didn't take anything out for dinner. We'll just go to the shelf and grab a jar of turkey or chicken or something that she's canned up,
so
and vegetables and potatoes.
You put meat? You can put meat on the shelf?
Shelf life of about, I think she said about 10 years.
What?
Yeah. She cans meat. Like I said, we have beef, turkey, chicken, pork.
That's cool.
And of course, vegetables and fruit.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's recently been doing Greek yogurt in the cooker.
Wow.
And makes her own. It takes about 6 or 8 hours to make it, and it's so much better than what you can get at the store.
Right.
And the taste. I had some this morning. I brought some along. She'll mix a little fruit in with it, and then
that's cool.
Can it up and put it in the fridge, and then we eat those all the time.
The meat thing, you don't hear about that as much of people doing that, because I know like one of my family members had said like, oh yeah, your parents or your grandparents came to this country with the clothes on their back and a few things and a jar of meat, and I was like, wait, pump the brakes here. Yeah. You're telling me they had a jar full of meat? Like, I'm thinking, how big is this jar? But yeah,
well, there's
how
different
do they go
size
about
jars.
Doing that?
Yeah, different size jars. It's just the two of us because I said, we're empty nesters, so she makes the smaller jars. But we do have some larger 1 quart jars of things for like when kids will come by or something, or we have some guests, then we'll open up one of those. It's so convenient.
Speaking of having things in your house, you mentioned it in the news about the drug take back that is happening with Berrien County, and I think it's so important because keeping those prescription drugs, once you're done using them, you may have a few of those pills lying around, and it's not good to have those, because those, whether they get into the landfill or they get into the wrong hands, it's not good either way.
Well, and some people even flush them. They think, oh yeah, I'll just flush it down the toilet.
Right.
Well, that goes out into our water system, and even though it goes to the
filtration and treatment
and stuff, but it's still, so no, don't flush your prescription medication.
Right.
Take it to the drug take back. Coming up Saturday from 10 to 2. Berrien County Sheriff's Department is going to oversee the destruction of dropped off medications. So it's the drug take back day. I think they do that once a year. It depends on where you're at.
They do the drug take back days, but I think that on a regular basis. So if you can't make it to that drug take back day, I believe on a regular basis, you'd have to check with either health departments or sheriff's departments and see if they will take it. Call ahead.
Yeah. Corewell Health is partnering with this one. If you miss it, just contact them. I'm sure they got some
get
resources
you in the right direction.
To get you, or contact the sheriff's office and say, hey, I missed the drug take back. I've got some medicine that I didn't take, or I didn't use, or I didn't finish.
Right.
What do I do with it here, instead of hanging on to it till the next one? Because that's the dangerous part, is keep hanging on to it, because if you got little ones in the house or something, then they can get to the medicine cabinet.
Yeah, and there's so many people that will say, oh well, I got a few of these left, I may need them for a rainy day where I'm feeling a little sore. It's like, well, that also not a good idea, because you're not prescribed at that moment to be taking those drugs.
Follow your advice from your doctor. If the doctor gives you 10 pills to take, 1 a day for the next 10 days, and you feel better after day 6, and you got the 4 left, the doctor says go ahead and take it for 10 days. You should follow that advice. And if you decide not to, call your doctor and say, hey, great, I feel fine after 6 days.
Fine. Yeah.
Do I need to take the remaining 4? And if the doctor says no, then always follow the advice of your physician.
Exactly. Yeah, because I know, like I've had broken bones and things like that, and it's like, oh, well, I only needed 2, and I'm good. I don't need the rest.
Painkillers are a little bit different. They're kind of as needed, but those are dangerous ones to keep around. Get into the wrong hands.
Yeah, you do not want that. So definitely go to that drug take back day. You said what, Saturday?
Saturday from 10 to 2.
Saturday 10 to 2.
Yeah.
We'll get to your Moody on the Market update here in just a moment. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
What does it take to be one of the best places to work in?
Yeah, it was interesting. Like when I think I broke my ankle in high school, and I guess it's because I was a teenager and I just healed fast, and I could apparently take the pain. But it was they were like, oh, here's 8 pills. This should get you through the next week or so. And I think I took 2, and I was like, I think I'm fine.
Yeah, don't need them anymore.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, all right, I'll get rid of these.
Yeah, the wife was taking some painkillers. She had injured her shoulder like a year ago, and she took one of the pills because she was in pain, and she had a bad reaction to it. And so she didn't take the rest of them. And so we've disposed of those.
Right.
But, yeah. So sometimes they don't always work for you.
And if you have penicillin, keep it away from me, because I'm allergic to penicillin.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I learned that the hard way.
Okay. All right.
I had strep throat, and they gave me, penicillin, and I took it, and it was like, not getting better, and I'm starting to break out into hives. This is not good. So mild allergy of it, but I was like, I think I need something else. So they gave me a different thing. What do they call it? The Z pack or whatever.
Yep. Yep.
That works well.
As a kid, I had an allergic reaction to sulfa, which is in a lot of prescription drugs. And so I've just always stayed away from it. So when I go to the doctor, they're like, any allergies? And I'm like, yeah, sulfa. And they're like, oh, okay, thanks for letting us know. And how recent did you have a reaction? And I'm like, well, 50 years ago when I was a kid, it's best you stay away from that.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was something that you would outgrow or not.
Yeah. No, that's interesting.
So I just kind of steer clear of that one.
Yeah, I was like 18 or so when I had strep throat. And I guess I had not needed penicillin for a very, very long time. And so I never knew that I was allergic. And my mom was like, oh, yeah, I think I remember that when they do the allergy test when you're little, that's what it is. But
yeah.
All right, here we go.
94.9 WSJM.
When you want to know Southwest Michigan's business, you can check it out at moodyonthemarket.com and the Moody on the Market app. Our team of contributors always on it, telling you about interesting people you should know, business updates, of course, and Southwest Michigan and why we love it here. And we also would love for you to send us your stories right there at the top on our fresh new moodyonthemarket.com. Says send your story, send us some information to us, and we would love to get that info. So
we were talking before the break about the drug take back. More information on our website if you want to find out a little more about the locations.
Absolutely.
So just go to the WSJM website and you can find out more information there.
And at moodyonthemarket.com, the update is brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service called IMS Today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles. Southwestern Michigan College has signed a memorandum of understanding with Grand Valley State University to offer bachelor level classes and degree options on the Dowagiac campus. Starting in the fall, the semester students will be able to register for face-to-face or hybrid formats, providing more personal interactions than fully online degrees typically offered. Now, graduating with their associate's degree, SMC students will be able to move seamlessly into select GVSU programs to continue their education while remaining in Southwest Michigan. The first degree offered by the partnership will be a Bachelor's of Applied Science in Leadership and Business Fundamentals, designed to provide further knowledge of accounting, finance, management, marketing, and organizational dynamics while acquiring leadership and team building skills. So this is pretty cool.
That is cool.
A collaborative program between Grand Valley's Brooks College of Interdisciplinary Studies and the Seidman College of Business.
How do you think you do with online learning? A lot of, everybody had to do it during COVID.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I know when I was in college, I wasn't the greatest student, but I also didn't show up to class sometimes. So maybe if it was an online version, maybe I would actually show up to it.
I think it has to depend for me on the class.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done some distance learning, online learning. When I got my bachelor's degree, some of the classes were online.
Right.
And I did fine. But I working remotely, and I know sometimes you'll do the show from home, but especially during COVID. But the wife does just fine. She works from home 3 days a week, and then she goes into the office a couple of days a week. But for over 2 years, she worked strictly at home. Too many distractions for me. We were talking about not making noise, getting up early and Saturday mornings and that, but there's just too many distractions. That'd be like, you know what? I'm working from home. Maybe I'll just turn on Drew and watch The Price is Right for a little bit while I'm working, or the dog might need something and I'll stop and pet the dog. And
I think I could do it. I think I could do it. It would probably take me a little bit longer as far as the amount of time in the day to get through certain classes and certain things. But I would be interested in checking that out.
And I'm not a person that tests well. Ask me to write a research paper. I love doing that. I'm a big history buff. I'll write research papers. And
do you have test anxiety?
But I get that test anxiety. I know the information, and then I sit there and I read the question, and I'm like, I know it's letter B here,
right?
But it could be D. And I keep second guessing myself, and then it just builds with the anxiety.
I do the same thing.
I don't test very well at all.
I do the same thing.
Yeah. And I know the information, but I just don't do that well.
Read more on that story at moodyonthemarket.com and the Moody on the Market app. The pretty awesome partnership. It's great for students, especially if they want to stay close to home, save
Yeah.
some money, but also get a great degree.
Absolutely.
Your Moody on the Market update brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service called IMS Today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles.
Rich Brand and Tarek Halsey of IMS.
Oh, that test anxiety. I tell you what. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Dwayne. Good morning, Teresa, Bill, all the other great people that are watching this morning.
You watching this morning? Are there any medications that you have an allergic reaction to? Chime in on Facebook and let us know.
Yeah, and if you also the conversation we had earlier about anybody with a microwave.
Yeah, that was the other one.
The microwave.
Any of you guys know anybody? I don't know a single person. You're the first person I think I've ever met
that doesn't have a microwave. Really?
A microwave. Yeah, that is weird. So let us know if you know somebody else that's a freak. No, I'm sorry.
Jeff says that's a really big cup, Ray.
It is
it's way up there, but no, yeah.
It's one of those
Stanley
I
ones.
didn't get on the bandwagon. I work for a school district back in Minnesota, and a lot of times kids will leave stuff on the bus. And then they hang on to it for like 3 months. And if the kid doesn't claim it, then they donate it.
Right.
And so this
lost and found.
This one is a lost and found, and I cleaned it all up. So yeah, I've got the big old. It's not a pink one. That was the big. But yeah,
I never understood that.
I would never buy one.
The special color. I mean, I'm okay with the purchasing one for if you like to drink water, but they're huge.
Yeah. And I drink a lot of water. I drink 2 of these a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, easily 2 of these a day.
Wow. That's a lot of water.
I start off with a little cup of coffee and I switch over to water.
Just spend time in the bathroom the whole day.
I'm old, and so yeah. When I take my
30
naps,
trips to the bathroom throughout the day.
I take my afternoon nap, and I don't have
in
to
the bathroom.
Yeah, well, almost. No, I lay down for a nap, and I don't have to set an alarm because my bladder alarm goes off, and that's what wakes me up to get up from my naps in the afternoon.
Starting to have that. Oh yeah. Dwayne says no medical allergies, but he said he found out he's allergic to bees last summer.
Well, he's probably not excited about St. Joe being a bee city, USA. Then
yeah, he's probably gonna stay away for a little while. Yeah, I remember he got stung by a bee last year, and yeah, it was bad. They were out camping, and he had gotten stung by a bee.
Yeah, a lot of people have reactions. Knock on wood. I'll get stung every once in a while, but I don't have. I'll get a little welt or whatever.
Right.
That's about it.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you to Ray for stepping in for Ken these past couple of days.
It was fun.
Great
really
to catch
fun.
up.
Thanks for having me back. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And thanks to everybody that watches. Ken will be back on Friday. So we'll have a lot of fun tomorrow as well. Andrew will also be back, so he'll handle news, and we'll have some fun. But thank you so much for taking some time and hanging out with us, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.